രാജശ്രീ വെങ്കിട്ടരമണൻ 80 വാക്ക് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഷോർട്ട് ആൻഡ് സ്പീഡ് ഡിക്റ്റേഷനാണ് വായിക്കുന്നത്. ഓരോ ഡിക്റ്റേഷനും 4-5 പ്രാവശ്യം എഴുതി ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലേക്ക് ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുവാൻ മറക്കരുത്. സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യാത്തവരുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പ്ലീസ് സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ഫോർ മീ. കമൻസ് അയയ്ക്കുക. ഓക്കെ. മിസ്റ്റർ പ്രസിഡൻറ്റ്, I respectfully desire to make a few suggestions. Whenever there is a surplus, it should be appropriated to the work of promoting the educational and industrial advancement of the country. At present, these surpluses go to other items of expenditure. Surpluses, after all, mean so much more taken from the people than is necessary for the purpose of the administration, and I think it is most proper that it should be utilized of the people. The question of expenditure attracts the attention of all thinking men. The country has recently been agitated over the recommendations of the Universities Commission appointed by the government last year. I do not desire to say anything on the present occasion on the subject of university education, but it strikes me that if government made its own institutions really model ones by equipping them with instruments of the highest standard and manning them with the best men available, the private colleges would necessarily find themselves driven to raise their own standards. If a number of research scholarships were established by government to encourage lifelong devotion to higher studies, the whole level of higher education in the country will be raised in a manner satisfactory to all. I think it is necessary that men whom the government appoints in its own colleges should set to their students the example of single-minded devotion to learning and should leave on their minds an impression which will ensure throughout their life. The question of technical education has often been discussed during the past few years in this country. Some time ago, you were pleased to ask if there were any definite proposals to be made. I do not, however, see how such a responsibility can be sought to be imposed upon our shoulders. Government have command of vast resources and they can procure without difficulty the required expert advice on the subject. A small commission of comments when should be deputed to those countries where much work is done by their governments for technical instruction of the people. They may study the questions on the spot, and a year or two a workable scheme could be submitted and a beginning could be made at once. There is one more question on which I beg leave to offer a few observations. Wider employment of local men in higher branches of public service of their own state is of great importance. It is bound up with questions of economic administration and political elevation of the people concerned. Young men of ability and education should not find themselves completely shut out of all opportunities in participating in the higher responsibilities of either the state departments or the industrial concerns. I recognize that there are difficulties in earmarking all posts to persons of the concerned states only, but the allotment of a certain percentage of posts for people or the state will not affect proper administration of the states or industry as a whole. I am aware government will pay their immediate attention to this subject of the matter. I conclude with the fond hope that my humble suggestions will receive the support of my governments and the government will implement them as far as possible without delay.